Hello. Is anybody listening? Is anybody out there? Hmm. You know, there's nobody out there right now. But I hope when you are listening to this, there's at least one person. And each time a week goes by, I hope there's one more person. And if it means one person adds every week, then I'm doing the right thing. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way, my new podcast. I'm excited. And I'm here because I just wanted to touch base with you guys. Well, there's nobody to touch base with at this point. But in my heart, I felt I needed to speak about leading our own way before I present the guests. I'm getting closer to launching the new episode of Leading Our Own Way, the debut episode. I don't know exactly when I'm going to do it, but I know it's close. But I wanted to touch base with you because I wanted to tell you guys where Leading Our Own Way is up to. You'll have seen me post only on YouTube little snippets of the first, up to now, 12 guests that I've filmed. They're under a minute. They're called shorts. They're on YouTube. They're not on Apple. They're not on Spotify. So if you are listening to any of those, please go over to YouTube and press that subscribe button. And please watch, because you'll get a taste of some of the topics that we're going to be going over with our guests and why and how they are leading their own way. But what have I done so far? Well, I've done the promos, and I've been working heavily on the artwork and all the platforms, or all over the social network platforms. So Leading Our Own Way currently has Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Not much is happening on those episodes, on those platforms, sorry, but it's happening on YouTube. And I promote on Facebook, Leading Our Own Way, and also on Instagram. I do have a Twitter page and then a TikTok page. I'm not very good at them though. I don't know if they're working for me, but the more research I do, the more learning I'm doing about podcasts and social media and algorithm is just to be out there, keep doing it. Am I great at it? No, I'm learning. But the bit that I am loving the most is meeting these people and filming these guests, because I'm learning so much. So what have I done so far? Well, actually, so I filmed 12 guests. There's more to work on. There's more to film. Filming one, for example, this Friday. We're currently sat on the 6th of March. I wanted to launch the first episode by March. But before I go into more guests, I'll tell you a little bit why I'm pausing on releasing. I don't care about it being perfect. I'm okay with it not being perfect. But what I am working to do is I've got people in Canada working on the audio. I need a tune. This is the bit I'm not willing to sacrifice. I've listened to a lot of podcasts and they all have a little bit of a cool tune. All right. It's not the be all and end all, and I probably will end up changing it maybe. Who knows? But I've got people in Canada working on a bit of a tune for me, and I'm positive it's going to be great. We're working on it together. It's connected through friends here in Australia. I am from Manchester, England, for those who don't know me, who may be listening. But I reside now in Melbourne, Australia, just outside Melbourne, about an hour and a half outside of Melbourne. But I got friends of family in Canada working on the audio. I wanted it to be close to home. I wanted it to be connected within us somehow. So that's where we're up to. Once I've got that audio piece, I'm going to then be looking for somebody to make a trailer. So hopefully this process won't take too long. But as soon as it's done, the episodes are ready to go. I'm going to be chopping that together, putting it all in together, and then uploading it. I'll do a countdown of 7 days. I feel I'm probably going to do a countdown of 7 days, really push it. So in the meantime, guys, please go and subscribe. I've got actually quite a lot of followers on Spotify and Apple so far. And a few subscribing on YouTube, which is great. I'm so happy for all of you guys who are following. But please, if you know, please spread it, share this episode. People know exactly what we're about. Yes, I've been working heavily on the artwork, back and forth. The story behind LOOW, low, as I'm going to say it. It's probably more Lou, but I'm going to go with low. But LOOW, the person who massively helped me with all this equipment, it's my friend in America, Portland, Oregon. I won't mention her name because I don't think she wants me to do that, but I won't do it anyway until she pipes up and appears on there, and I'll say it. But she was messaging me and I was abbreviating LOOW because we're talking, this was over a year ago. And I was like, I've got to stop and say, what does LOOW mean? And she said, well, it's your name of your podcast, Leading Our Own Way. I was like, oh, yes, I love that. So that's why it is on there. It is on there. I think I said her name earlier. If I did, you won't know who she is anyway. And she's totally cool. But anyway, so yeah, I've gone with that, LOOW, but put Leading Our Own Way on there. So that's part of the artwork now. I hope it comes some form of importance. I'm sure it will. I hope people are recognizing that as Leading Our Own Way. And then, I looked at other front covers and they all needed somebody on there. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Anyway, put a front cover, put a picture of me on a road. I've always liked roads. All my traveling pictures of me in a van or of the road and meaning into the distance. I'm sure you can understand the semblance of it, but it does represent journey. It represents journey, not the destination, and our life never ends. And nature's in there. I think, it looks much like the roads that I live near. It's not a road that I live near, but it does look like the Great Ocean Road. And then I put a picture, superimposed picture of me on there, and a friend reached out and said, you're missing a shadow. I was like, oh my God, I am missing a shadow. And I couldn't unsee it. So we went and did some more work on that, and it looks a bit more like I'm walking on the road now from the help of him, So that's amazing. Again, learning all about that side of things, because I'm not an artist, but I'm taking pieces of advices from everybody, trying to learn off everybody. And that's pretty good. So yeah, I've covered the artwork, the audio, the trailer, and all the social media platforms that we're on. I've filmed 12 guests so far, and they have been amazing. And the format that I've kind of followed of the structure of the episodes, and it's not been concrete. Some guests have gone off on a different direction because it's made sense to their story. But typically of each episode, I'm starting in the present moment of where people are physically, mentally, emotionally at, where they stand in their life, and how they are. How are they doing? What they're doing professionally, and we have a really good chat around that stage, and then we kind of go back in time and we go back to a place of where they it was the beginning of their journey. It could be some form of traumatic experience. It could be a change in health circumstances. It could be some of the guests have been playing professional sports and struggled in professional sports. Their childhood, their parenting, their professional life, their ups and downs. How have they navigated out of it? And then that's why I started at the beginning and then traveled back, because then you can see the beginning with the end in mind and pictured their journey back to how they've navigated themselves from it. And that journey going through, entwining all those personal development strategies they followed, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Some were related to drugs. Some have suffered through life-altering diseases, chronic diseases, changing circumstances in their relationships. I don't want to give too much away, but my word, they are fascinating stories, fascinating, inspiring journeys each of them have been on, and how they've led their own way back into the moment that we're currently at. You'll see most of the promos, all of them actually so far are males, but I am filming a few females coming in the near future, which I'm so happy about too, because I think it's important that I'm hearing some of their stories through parenting, some of the things they've suffered through parenting themselves, and how they've navigated themselves out of through that, even still in the moment. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but it's an interesting journey. And it's just been phenomenal what I've learned and taken from all of those, you know. I currently work full time. I'm in education. I dropped out of teaching, become a casual teacher. It created me a space where I could focus on. I have another podcast called Nurturing Leadership. That was just stemmed from something I went through about 10 years ago. I suppose that's my way of leading my own way. It's not perfect. I'm learning. I do a lot of reading around leadership and the brain and the neuroscience. And I built Nurturing Leadership from stemming off the book that you can see here with my colleague. I was bullied in the workplace around 9 years ago. It's something that stuck with me. In my time, I've been told to man up, or it was something it was just somebody I wasn't getting along with, told I wasn't getting along with them. But, I was 31, 32 years old. I'm okay with not getting along with people. That wasn't the issue. But, I'm not here to hurt them, but I went through. It affected me massively. I don't know if they know what they were doing on a daily basis. I still don't have the answers. But I felt like I was going through a horrible time during that time. And then I went through, once all that kind of finished after 9 months of throwing up every morning before work, people at that workplace didn't see that. They knew something was probably wrong, but I was going to a dark place. And only really in the last 2 years, I admitted that I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be here anymore at all. And I don't mean just in Australia, but yeah, I had to navigate myself out of that. I realized, having children, buying a new house, buying a new car, getting the dream job wasn't going to fix me. And I went on a journey, and I've been the happiest I've ever been in the last 2 years. And so I felt like I've led my own way by, one, doing the book. That was a therapeutic process for Mike and myself. We collected stories from around the world who had been through similar things. We created a personal development chapter, used our own strategies and put it in place, and then kind of talked about the leadership side, the human side of leadership. That's what I'm kind of passionate about, and that's why I'm doing Nurturing Leadership. So I'm not here to sell that, though. If you want to find that, please look on the bios. But other than that, I don't need to talk too much about it, because this is about leading our own way. And it stemmed from Nurturing Leadership. I wanted to create something positive. I wanted to create I've always been a talker, been a bit of a running joke about me being a talker. So I wanted to create something where I get to meet people. I love meeting people. I love talking to them. I love opening up. I've always been a bit of an open book, and it's created a safe space for them. It's created a safe space for them to talk about their journey, but also share the learnings. People can learn from these people. People can take strategies from them. They can see how normal people have come from the darkness and led themselves into the light. They've turned the light on, and they've navigated themselves, and they've led their own way. That will become clearer as the episodes come out, but I wanted to do that. I think it was perfect for me to set this up. Never thought about it until about a year and a half ago. I bought the domain name leadingourownway.com. I created all the names that were luckily available on the social networks. They're pretty much all leading our own way. I think Twitter might be slightly different, but again, you can find that in the links if you need to follow us on there. But I predominantly post on Instagram and Facebook, and obviously post all the audios and videos on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So please subscribe and follow there where possible. So yeah, it kind of fit my personality doing this. It might be the in thing to do podcasts, but it just made sense. That was the only way I was going to get people, right? So if you know anyone who's you feel would benefit coming on the show, and people who are listening would be beneficial, benefit from hearing from those stories, please email me, andrew@leadingourOwnWay.com. You can go on the website and click on there and send your information in. And a few people have come to me that way. I've got some amazing people coming through there, most of which I know at first, and that's why I've interviewed them. But the ones coming through now tend to be people I don't know. The message is getting out there, the stories are getting out there, and a lot of people are following, and I've not even launched anything yet. But as far as I'm aware, no one's even watching. And that's okay, but people will see this eventually, and hopefully people will fall in love with the stories, fall in love with the guests, and it will hopefully create a safe space where people can feel safe to be vulnerable, I guess, and share their story. Get it out there, because that is the beginning of your rehabilitation. It's the beginning of your seeing the light, if you will. It is the beginning of you taking charge of your destiny going forward. And that's what Leading Our Own Way is all about. So I've covered some of the topics we're going to be going in the guess. Yeah, that's me. That's the episodes. This isn't not the first episode. The first episode will be Mr. Jake Ward. I won't give away who he is, but it's a fascinating interview. He's got some amazing stories. Just when you think it's going to stop, this must be enough, there's just more in that episode. Then we have a few, a New York journalist. We have a drummer from a band in the UK. I have a couple of professional sports, ex-performer, pro sports stars who are coming on to talk about how they navigated their traumas in their personal lives. Who else do I have? I have one of the commentators here in Australia, Mr. Wayne Peterson, the voice of Melbourne. I have a comic designer from Texas, a personal development best-selling author in Canada, Mr. Patrick Bannerfold. I don't want to miss anybody out. Don Johnson, the drummer. Yeah, there's just loads, absolutely loads. And I don't want to say the ones I'm filming. I'm actually filming one on Friday, the House of Leaders, the leader of House of Leaders. Fascinating story. I don't want to mention the other ones because they are confirmed, but I've not set a date to do the recording yet. So I don't want to mention those names. I don't want to mention their stories. But they are amazing stories, and I can't wait for you to hear them. And I'm super excited to tell you. I'm dying to tell you who they are, because they are connected to people that you know in the world too. But I just can't share it. But they have amazing stories about what they're doing. Just dying to share it with you, but I can't. And I'm excited. Yeah. Anyway, Leading Our Own Way is coming soon. I promise you. I really, really, really promise you. There's no audio yet. There's no trailer. You didn't get that one on this one. But I'm not releasing the first episode until I've got something. And I might end up changing, like I mentioned before. But we start off small, very small, simple steps, but it's ready to go. We're almost there, people. Please share. Please get it out there. Please tell people about it, because I know you're going to get something from here. I just know it. I can feel it. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't know anybody that needs support in that way, and you don't need support in that way, I guarantee you'll just get a good feel story out of it, and feel something towards the guests. I just know it. And hopefully inspire you for your day if you listen to it in the car, if you're watching it on your channel, on your YouTube app, in your lounge. Fantastic. And help me reach more people, help me spread the love, help me keep getting more guests coming in, because that's what it's all about. I just want normal people. I want anybody, just anybody. Even if it is somebody who's well known, we can bring. You'll just hear the authenticity in these people just being normal people. Anyway, I could go on, but I won't. But I'm excited. Leading Our Own Way, LOOW, hashtag AKA LOOW, LOOW that is, will be here very, very soon. Hopefully by the end of March. I will keep you posted. There'll be a 7-day countdown when I know I'm ready to go. Guys, all the best. Peace out. Share love. Remember, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Follow, subscribe, share. Love you all. Thank you for supporting me. You know who you are. Keep supporting me. I love it. And I know I'm doing the right thing based on what everyone's reaching out to say. Have a great day, everybody. Let's keep leading our way going forever. Peace out. Laters.